That I hear preach the scripture beautifully, but they don't show black people where we are in the book. You mean to tell me the prophets could see the end of time and didn't see the horror of the transatlantic slave trade and write about it? You mean the prophets could see and they didn't see America and the wickedness of America? No, don't look at me like I'm crazy now. If they saw this and wrote about it, then they saw you in her midst, a destroyed people. But where is it in the book? You talk about he saves? Well, hell, we need saving.
Do you know that I can pull out the slave ships out of the Bible and show you that the true children of Israel would serve captivity through slave ships? Who are these people? You can't say the Jewish people are the Jews. They're not the Jews. They're not suffering the curses according to the Bible. How can they be the Jews and they run everything you see today? The Bible said the Jews would be under a curse. The Jews would go in and call those nations and serve all other nations. This is what you will not learn in religion. That the poor people in the Bible are actually the people of the Bible. You cannot learn this in your religion.
Life is especially tough for Chicago's black community, with 1 in 3 African-American men in their early 20s unemployed, men like Chris. Overall African-American joblessness in Chicago is over 20%, more than twice the white rate.
Over on the other side of the tracks is a lot of drugs. And a lot of people have turned to drugs. A lot of people turn to selling drugs.
Locals explain it's done here to get by. Robbery is also at a peak.
Try to, get something they could pawn to get money off of. Any way to make money, they'll do it. It's gotta be an easier way.
For many, it's a vicious circle. The number of families living in poverty now stands at an astounding 45%, almost half the population. Many of those going hungry are kids. 1 in 3 children in Chicago are said to live below the poverty line.
More bad news for the African American community, as the census reports the highest level of poverty for them since 1959. 27.4% of the country's 44 million blacks, 1 in 4, earns less than $11,000 a year, what the government considers a bare minimum income to survive. Most of the impoverished 11 million are children who were born into the poor households. There are a variety of factors for the jump in black poverty according to the census report. Unemployment is number one, with the higher percentage of blacks in the U.S. out of work when compared to whites and Hispanics.
Some poverty experts believe that despite the high percentage, they still think the actual number of poor blacks in this country is grossly undercounted. They point to two factors. The first is what they describe as the census's poor history of actually counting people in communities of color. The second is the category formula of the census, which excludes immigrants from Caribbean or African countries. Many of those immigrants share the same spaces and resources with African Americans in urban communities across the country.
Right now, there are 39 million African Americans in the USA, comprising 13% of the population. Unemployment among blacks, 13% as opposed to 8.1% for the general country. 27% of African Americans live below the poverty line. And 72% of black mothers give birth outside of marriage, which is a huge poverty driver. There is no question the United States of America has not treated blacks well throughout its history. As John Adams once wrote, slavery is an abomination, and the persecution of blacks after the Civil War was almost as bad.
Drugs, gangs, and poverty dominate the landscape of the major cities in the United States. The Hebrew side of town is always the worst part of the city. Whether in the country or the city, the curses are sure to follow.
It's your boy, it's Kia, it's just like music. Take a walk around here and show you how the curses all over my people, man. Come on home with me, where the blocks are messed up. Crack streets, cops are messed up. Crack fiends, cops arrest us. No probable cause, many like to test us. Come home with me, where people look, the doors hang over hinges. Drunk parents, men, they hang over bridges. Kids scattered around, look at you like this ain't your business. No wonder why I hang on my fringes. Come on home with me, where Sean Bell got killed.
Black women, on the other hand, were steady and imperturbable. They stood like a rock on the face of things that scared black men. They had trouble with women. And it was always the women who were dominant.
Come on, Herman.
Really, Cedric?
Come on now.
Get your little ass over here now.
Pull your pants up, Cedric.
Year period, the number of businesses owned by black women jumped 75% compared to 29% for black men. And so it's no wonder that of $850 billion of spending power in the African American community, today black women control 62% of that.
Another interesting statistic, 70% of this, I know, all the black women, hold on to your seats right now. All the black women, hold on, take a breath. 70% of African American women are single.